Hello, 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 and welcome to Believe. That's BLEAV in Lions, right here on the Believe Podcast Network. I'm your host at Cavanagh87, Jack Cavanagh, and I am here once again to bring you everything you need to know about the Detroit Lions. Of course, there's some things that I don't need to tell you because unless you've been living under a rock, or as a fan of One Pride, you have just tuned out ever since the playoffs ended, unless that's the case, you know that our baby boy, Matt Daddy Stafford, Matthew Stafford, is a Super Bowl champion. And hopefully you bet the Rams, and hopefully you place that wager over on Bet Online, because football might be over for this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From all the latest odds, totals, player performance, props, to where the next fired coach is going to land, Bet Online is the number one spot for all your sports betting needs. So head over to the website or use your mobile devices to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE to get started. That's BLEAV. And it's not just basketball, because Bet Online is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds, right to the Olympic coverage. It's the best in the business. From sports right down to your favorite Vegas casino games, Bet Online is your number one online wagering destination. Bet Online, the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports and play your favorite games. Bet Online, where the game starts. And now let's start with the elephant in the room here as Detroit Lions fans. The Detroit Ram shirts. Now, there's a lot of upset people right now in Detroit. This has upset a large number of One Pride members. So, of course, I've got to give my take. Who cares? Who cares? It's a silly shirt. Truly, it's silly. It's fun. And most importantly, it doesn't matter. Not even a little bit. I mean, if you're not happy for Matthew Stafford as a Lions fan, why? That's what I want to know. Because I've yet to hear a single valid argument as to why Detroit Lions fans should turn their back on Matthew Stafford other than he left. And so what? Matthew Stafford gave his heart and his soul to Detroit for years. And anyone with a working pair of eyes could have told you that Matthew Stafford was not the problem in Detroit. So for anyone that isn't happy about Matthew Stafford getting a ring, I'm sorry about the hate in your heart. And anyone that is upset over the Detroit Rams shirt, just get over it. It's silly. We're allowed to have some silliness in these crazy, crazy times of 2022. So with that, let's talk about Matthew Stafford for a second, because I've seen some other podcasts say that this Super Bowl actually proves that Jared Goff was not the problem, and that Sean McVay was actually the issue in LA. Now, those people would point out that the Rams running backs averaging 1.5 yards per carry and still running the ball 19 times in the game. Some would say that is an indication as to why Sean McVay is the problem in LA and it wasn't Jared Goff. And to that I say, that's the point. Because all coaches are flawed at times. Coaches are human beings. So with a top end quarterback, they don't only elevate the talent around them on the field. But they make up for coaching errors, referee errors. An elite quarterback makes up for all of it. And that's exactly what Matthew Stafford did when he went on that game winning drive. You all remember this beautiful no look pass from Matthew Stafford. And I'm here to say, if Jared Goff is the quarterback, he does not make this pass to Cooper Kupp. No, he throws it right here to the tight end. He checks it down. Instead, Matthew Stafford threads the needle over the middle for the big game. And that is exactly the difference between Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. Jared Goff doesn't make that play. Matthew Stafford does. Matthew Stafford makes up for his coach running the ball 19 times when he absolutely should not have. Matthew Stafford makes up for a torn ACL from Odell Beckham. That is the difference between a top end quarterback like Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. So, while I do like Jared in Detroit, at the end of the day, you need a Matthew Stafford who can make up for losing your wide receiver to Robert Woods early in the season to an ACL, who can, in the Super Bowl, make up for Odell Beckham tearing his ACL after a monstrous start. You just have to feel for OBJ because after proving New York and the Giants and the media wrong, and after proving the Browns and the Cleveland media wrong, you just feel for the man that after putting it all out on the field, 2 receptions and 52 yards with a touchdown, he did more than enough to prove that Odell Beckham is not a problem. He is not a cancer like he's been labeled by many. Odell Beckham is just the ultimate competitor and a man who's dealt with slander on his name simply for being a flashy man. And I'm just happy that he gets the last laugh as a Super Bowl champion. And I really hope this isn't the last time we see Odell Beckham either, because I really want to see him run it back and make a stellar comeback with the Los Angeles Rams next year. But at the same time, I would not begrudge him walking away a champion instead of enduring another grueling rehab. Regardless, I am happy for Odell Beckham. And what's more important than peace of mind? Nothing. And that's what NordVPN is here for, to give you peace of mind when you're online. And with all the threats that you face today on the internet, it is more important than ever to be sure that you have the best VPN that you can get. NordVPN is the world's best VPN service, offering the fastest connectivity, the most servers, and next-gen encryption to make sure everything you do online stays secure. Plus, you can use NordVPN on all your computers and devices, no matter the operating system. With NordVPN's unlimited bandwidth, you never have to worry about a slow connection either. And plans start at under $4 per month. So grab your exclusive NordVPN deal by going to nordvpn.com/believe or use code BELIEVE. That's BLEAV to get up to 70% off your NordVPN plan plus 1 additional month for free. It's also risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. So I'm just speculating that Odell could retire. Because who knows what his mindset is right now. He has lots of time to decide that, and we wish him the best in that decision. But retirement really does seem to be the theme of the Rams Super Bowl win. Because Eric Weddle, he came out of retirement after a year and a half off of the NFL and performed so well in the Rams playoff push that he was given the green dot on his helmet. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it means that after 2 years away from football, Eric Weddle was the one talking to the defensive coordinator in the Super Bowl, calling the plays for the rest of the team. And it's not just that either, because Eric Weddle tore his pectoral muscle in that Super Bowl, and he just kept playing. That's how much Eric Weddle wanted this ring and how much he deserved it. And now he has stated he will go back to retirement, but Eric Weddle gets the ring he deserves, as does the Rams left tackle Andrew Whitworth. At 40 years old, playing left tackle in the NFL. That is one of the most ridiculous feats we have seen from a player ever. You can't compare apples to oranges and compare Tom Brady playing quarterback into his 44-45 season to left tackle at 40. Both are just incredibly impressive feats. And so if Andrew Whitworth does retire, I won't be the least bit surprised. But say he wants to run it back as a 41-year-old left tackle in the NFL, who am I to disagree with that? Whatever the case, Andrew Whitworth, you deserve your ring. Though I will absolutely and unequivocally disagree with anyone asserting that Sean McVay might retire. There's just no way at all. Do we really think that the 37-year-old head coach who, after finally tasting the glory of the Super Bowl, is just going to retire and call it quits? Because if he were to retire right now with a .679 win percentage, he is first among active coaches and would be 10th all time. But who really believes that? What do we think is more likely? That Sean McVay hangs up the headset at the end of the season? Or that he sticks around long enough to become the greatest head coach of all time? I'm going to side with the latter. And I know that's high praise. And I know it's a long way for that to happen. But 37 years old, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl. There's a long time to go for Sean McVay to become the GOAT at head coach. And Matthew Stafford will be there for the next while to make that happen. But there is one final retirement question that I really don't know about. Because Rodney Harrison, the former Patriots safety, reported before the game that Aaron Donald had told him if he wins the Super Bowl, he could retire. And in that respect, what more is there for Aaron Donald to accomplish in the NFL? He's an 8-time Pro Bowler who's been in the NFL for 8 seasons. He's a 7-time All-Pro who only missed being an All-Pro in year 1. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, should have been, in my humble opinion, the Super Bowl MVP, and by and large, just the greatest defensive player of my generation. The only thing Aaron Donald's resume is missing is 2 more sacks, because at 98, he is 2 sacks shy of the 100 sack club. And that's it. That's the only thing left for Aaron Donald to accomplish. So if he tastes that Super Bowl glory, decides to hang it up, I can't blame him. But I truly believe the competitor that Aaron Donald is and the fun he had on this team, he will be back for another run with the LA Rams at the Super Bowl next year. Now, I know I said Aaron Donald would be my vote for Super Bowl MVP, but Cooper Kupp absolutely deserved it as well. Don't get me wrong. 8 receptions, 92 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. I just happened to side with Aaron Donald because 2 sacks, 7 total pressures, and the game-winning walk-off QB hit on Joe Burrow. That's why I go Aaron Donald. However, Cooper Kupp, the second best wide receiver that Matthew Stafford has ever played with. Yes, of course, the second best because I'm sorry, Coop. Megatron's always going to be number 1 for Matthew Stafford, no matter what. And now people will notice I said if Aaron Donald comes back, they very well will be competing for the Super Bowl next year. And you may say, they're $14 million over the salary cap, Jack. How does that work? Well, with one move, and that's just if Andrew Whitworth retires, they are now $2 million under the cap. Andrew Whitworth's retirement saves $16 million for the Rams, and that's even before Matthew Stafford redoes his contract because it's already been announced. Matthew Stafford will be signing a long-term deal this offseason with just 1 year left on his contract. So you can have peace of mind knowing that the Rams are very much going to be in the hunt next year. They're probably not a great value on BetOnline to repeat as the champions in the NFC West, but it's a good bet regardless because they are still the best. Now, as for the Bengals, I know they came up short, but we still got to give them credit because they were a 4th goal line stand in 4 games from becoming Super Bowl champions. And now, yes, that Logan Wilson call was terrible. But the refs also missed that offensive pass interference on T. Higgins on his 75-yard touchdown. They also missed holding on literally every single play. And that's because it's football. That's what happens when you have part-time, unaccountable employees as your referees. I don't want to go play-by-play on the missed calls and complain, oh, this changed the outcome. This impacted it. I don't want to do that. Let the NFL do that during referee training, which should happen every single week because it should be their full-time job as referees in the NFL. That and adding a camera to the replay judge are the only conversations I want to hear around the referees and the Super Bowl going forward. That's it. Anything else, I don't care about. What I do care about, though, and the number one story for the Bengals, aside from the referees, is the meme. And you all know the meme that I'm talking about because Jamar Chase versus Penei Sewell, the conversation is back on. We know that Aaron Donald had the pressure on that final play. We can see it right here, but we can see down here, Jamar Chase, he had cooked one of the best corners in the league, Jalen Ramsey. He beat him deep. Burrow just couldn't get it to him. And that just reminds us all of the draft day meme that was going for months last season, where Joe Burrow, if he had Penei Sewell protecting him, he could complete a pass to anyone because he's going to be protected. Whereas if they didn't draft Sewell, then Jamar Chase was going to be running deep and Joe Burrow was going to be on the ground. And that came true in the Super Bowl. But the Bengals also aren't in the Super Bowl if they draft Penei Sewell instead of Jamar Chase. I guarantee that. Jamar Chase was such a difference maker this season for the Bengals that they don't make the Super Bowl without him. And I've done a lot of thinking on this too. People complain that the Packers didn't do enough around Aaron Rodgers to make him happy. People say the same things about the Seahawks in Seattle. People have said the same things about Matthew Stafford in Detroit. The Bengals listened to Joe Burrow and got his wide receiver one. They got Jamar Chase. They made their quarterback happy. So who are we to say they made the wrong decision when it got them to the Super Bowl? And Jamar Chase still played great. 5 receptions, 89 yards. And I truly believe they will be back in the Super Bowl together. This is just a case where both the Lions with Penei Sewell and the Bengals with Jamar Chase got the right player for their franchise. And the reason I believe the Bengals will be back is because Joe Burrow is no Dan Marino, who lost in year 2 and never went back. I saw you, Dan, making fun of our boy, Smoking Joe. And it's especially not going to happen because the Bengals have all of their draft picks this year. And they're also set to be third in the NFL in cap space with $57 million to spend. And really, they only need to re-sign safety Jesse Bates, who we saw had an interception in the Super Bowl. They should probably re-sign tight end CJ Uzama and their defensive tackles Larry Ogunjobi and BJ Hill. But that's really it for free agents for the Bengals, aside from that offensive line, which they need to upgrade on. But we just saw what Kansas City did in one offseason. It didn't get them to the Super Bowl, but Patrick Mahomes, under pressure, under fire, under duress, the entire Super Bowl against the Buccaneers. So what does Kansas City do? They go out and spend a boatload of money on Orlando Brown and Joe Thuney. They go out and spend draft picks on Orlando Brown as well as the money. And they draft Creed Humphrey, one of the best centers in the NFL already. And they draft Trent Green, the right guard from Tennessee as well. One off season, and Kansas City fixed their offensive line. All the Bengals have to do right now is build around Joe Burrow for the next 3 years, and I guarantee they will win a Super Bowl. Right tackle Riley Reif, he can walk. Left guard Quentin Spain, he can walk. They're both free agents, and they can both be upgraded upon. Bring in Teron Armstead at left tackle from the Saints. Draft heavily on the offensive line. We've talked about it. It's a great class. Go back and listen to our offensive preview of the Senior Bowl if you don't believe me. The Bengals are going to be fine. Joe Burrow will be back in the Super Bowl. In fact, he will be the MVP in 2022 before becoming Super Bowl MVP at the end of 2022. But for now, it's Matthew Stafford's time to celebrate. We are proud as Detroit Lions fans to say congratulations, Matthew Stafford, and to the Los Angeles Rams on your Super Bowl victory. And congrats to Michael Brockers, the Lions defensive tackle, who Aaron Donald could have brought anyone to his Super Bowl after party, and he chose his best friend, Michael Brockers. So just all sorts of Detroit Lions connections to the Super Bowl. Remember, Brad Holmes, the general manager, helped build and shape this roster in LA on their way to the Super Bowl. The Lions are in good hands. And as much as it hurt to watch Matthew Stafford win a Super Bowl in another jersey, it's going to be okay because the future is bright for the Detroit Lions. And we've got plenty to talk about all off season long, starting later this week as we finally finish our recap of the Senior Bowl with the defensive backs. We'll be talking hirings all around the NFL, off-season news, but that's all coming to you later. Until then, though, we will see you next time. And remember, Bet Online is always the presenter of the Believe in Lions podcast.